As Americans, we have great things to be proud of. We have the highest GDP. We're technologically advanced, we have some of the most prestigious colleges, and we are very dedicated towards our war efforts. However, not to be the bearer of bad news, but many of these positive aspects are balanced and even degraded by the negative ones that overbear it. As GDP increases, the environment suffers. As we advance in technology, citizens are clouded by a social fantasy and often overlook reality. As we house many elite colleges, number of students are in debt. As Student Loan Hero encompasses, as of April 2017, $1.4 trillion are owed for student loans spread among the 44 million borrowers. These are all the things we need to be aware of before America can be the best. I am not here to belittle our efforts. I also want to rank as best. To do my efforts of trying to recover our status, I want to discuss our war efforts, not across seas, but domestically. We have a war at home that needs to be resolved. I'm going to show you a video, and I want you to just sit back and relax.
Kids that were leaving there, you thought you saw someone drop a revolver. You for sure it is?
I'm
Okay.
serious.
And the kid was all black?
It was, the kid he was dressed in all black, and there was another kid who was trying to call him back, kind of light skinned, curly hair. He had a red top and a black and red vest.
Guys, get on the ground. Keep your hands out. Hey, come over here. Keep your hands where I can see them and get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. 1961, I got them at gunpoint. They're being compliant. Just keep your hands out, okay?
In that video, a cop thought those children were in possession of a gun, so he came with his loaded. As the video was released, you could hear them cry, "I don't want to die. Stop crying before they think you did something. I don't want to go to juvie. I have a basketball game tomorrow." And when the cop's only defense, he just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. It is absolutely disgusting that a child can have his life flash before his eyes because he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. This is a war that needs to be resolved. As author Angie Thomas said, "When I was 12, my parents had two talks with me. One was the usual birds and the bees. The other talk was about what to do if a cop stopped me. Mama fussed and told Daddy I was too young for that. He argued that I wasn't too young to get arrested or even shot. Star, you do whatever they tell you to do," he said. "Keep your hands visible. Don't make any sudden movements. Only speak when they speak to you." I knew it must have been serious. Daddy had the biggest mouth out of anybody I know. And if he said to be quiet, I needed to be quiet. Why does this happen? Why are we telling our children to behave a certain way when coming into contact with people who are called to protect us? Why do we, citizens, most often feel paranoid when coming in contact with police when they're here to protect us? Police reform needs to take place because sadly, the previous video wasn't just one example of the numerous cases that represent injustice. Allow me to tell you of others. Philando Castile, 2016. You never would have thought a broken taillight would cost you your life. It cost his life as it was taken with a man in a badge in front of his family. On July 6th, riding with his family when he was pulled over by the cops. He was shot because he informed the officer he was licensed to hold a gun and he had one. After that, he was shot 4 times after reaching for his ID and driver's license, which the officer said to do. After the killing, his girlfriend still had to call the officer sir. Why? Because of the fear the badge holds. Fullerton, California. Kelly Thomas, homeless and mentally ill, as he was screaming for help, was beaten by 6 members of the police department. Cleveland, Ohio. 12-year-old Tamir Rice, killed for playing with a toy gun. New York. Eric Gardner was held in a chokehold screaming, "I can't breathe." He died because there was a complaint he was selling loose cigarettes. Cigarettes required his life, and he's gone, and his family is to be without. Los Angeles, Ezell Ford. He was unarmed, but was shot in the back, right arm, and right side. He was left dead with a muzzle imprint in his back. As his lawyer, Stephen Learman, said, what they did to Mr. Ford was nothing short of criminal. There's a link in the description that puts this issue into perspective. It is a 2016 shooting map in America. Allow the map to speak as a symbol of change. We need to be the change. Citizens are the change. Stand against wrongdoing. Be an advocate of police reform. As Stephen Mackey said, in the era of angry and aggressive policing, it is an honorable service to your fellow citizens to video record police officers' interactions with the common people. It's sad, but make people aware of the actions that are done by badges. These crimes outshine that of those of the officers that want to protect. Do your job and thank those men and women who serve for the better. Report any and all misdoings that you witnessed. We are the change. We need to demand justice and fight for what's right. Let the badge represent bravery and honor, not power.